Hello peeps! Several people requested the Flores Button knot from Bruce Grant's Encyclopedia of Rawhide and Leather Braiding. It's plate number 174, and we require a 5-lead or 5-part 6-bite turkshead as the starting knot. I'm going to build this via a 3-lead 4-bite turkshead. And I wanted to take the chance here to explain the difference between a 3-lead 4-bite and a 3-lead 5-bite and some mathematical rules that apply. I've already prepared the ground knots. What you usually know, probably, or better know, is the 3-lead 5-bite, which is constructed via the starting point of all those common square Turk's heads, the 3-lead 2-bite knot, which you can see on the left side. You can see here, this is the standing part, and we go to the right and cross then over the standing part here and come back over here and go out over to the left. And if we start crossing the bites and weaving this 3rd strand in, then we will create the 3-lead 5-bite turkshead. It's a different thing here. What Tom Hall calls a 3-lead 1-bite turkshead, I find it rather, a bit peculiar, because usually this one would run round the back and then we have really the 3 leads all around and we would meet here. In this case, if we did that, we sort of had, or it looks at least, that if we had 2 bites, but in this case this ends up above the standing part. And we start this knot by not going over. Here we go over the standing part, this is the crossing point. We start the knot by going under, and then go not to the right side, but we go to the left side. We just do the same, we go over where the whole cord goes over, and we go under where the cord goes under. And by weaving, by crossing the bites here, in very much the same manner as we would do with the 3-lead 5-bite, we create our 3-lead 4-bite turkshead, and then can build from there the 5-lead, or raise from there the 5-lead 6-bite via enlargement process 2, as Tom Hall calls it. And this is one of the 2 enlargement processes. The number one going right to the standing part, starting right to the standing part, and number 2 starting left to the standing part. But first of all we have to complete our 3-lead 4-bite knot, and I will just put this away, out of the way, so it doesn't confuse us anymore. I forgot what else I wanted to tell you, something about the mathematics. It's all somewhere hidden in all these books, but I'm not really good with mathematics, and I found out the hard way by trying to raise some things or build some things that some things might not work. With the 3-part 1-bite that I've shown you before, we can build we can raise this to a 4-bite, 3-lead 4-bite, and the next one would be a 3-lead 7-bite. I just wrote it down like it builds. You add the leads and the bites, and you always add the leads or the parts again to have the next wider number, so the next higher number of bites by this that you can create by this kind of crossing the bites and weaving the third cord in. In the 3-part 2-bite you have the next possible bite number is 5, and the next possible is 8, and so on and so on. This is one important rule with all these turksheads, which you might want to remember when you try to build a certain size of bracelet or something like that. So just a little break. I'm back again. We're now building the 3-lead 4-bite turkshead. We came here over the cord, so we cross the bite in the same way and weave in the third cord by going under. So, and we come back out here. Yeah, and we come back in the right way. You can always see if you are correct if you come back alongside the standing part. And now we can count the it's not easy to see. We can try to count the bites. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're already finished with the 3-lead 4-bite. The expansion or enlargement process 1 would begin here at the right side of the standing part, but we want to do this, or we must do this via the expansion or enlargement process 2, which goes under the standing part and then follows the standing part and does exactly what it does. The point being that it always tends to slip away. I just pull this cord through and then we'll push it where it belongs. So this is the main problem, that you keep your bites where they should be. So we come under the standing part, we go do the same as the standing part does, we go under, we go over, and then we go under to come out of the knot. Cord is a bit long for the Flores Button knot. I guess it might be just a little bit too long to be comfortable. So we come out under the bite, and as we are laying the tracks here, we have to go in and stay under the bite, because we are not locking the bites here, we're just building them and we are not locking them, which means I try to hold this a little bit so the cord does not slip under. You can always get your bites back, but in the beginning it's quite confusing. So we always do what the standing part does, and now the standing part is not on the right anymore, it wanders, you see there it is, it wanders to the left, or it's now on the left. But this is all really very self-explanatory. You come in under because you came out under, and now what do? You do the same as you did before, so you want to go over here and come under again, that you have this kind of casa coding already here. Don't know if this applies here, but this is like it explains itself to me. We come out under again, we go in under, And now we're already, this is a little bit a big mandrel, so we wouldn't have to have gone under here because we were already finished. I made a mistake here. Let's go out again. It's always good to have a right-sized mandrel, not to fool yourself. So this time we come out, this is a very long bite here. We come out and go over the standing part again, and then we do what we always do, we split the pairs lengthwise. So you see, you go over, and then here you go under to lock this bite that we built. These go over, and to lock them, of course, we have to go over them again. If we went under, nothing would happen. And the same here, when this goes under, we go under. So we go over this, and we go under this, and go over at the end, over the bite, and lock the bite. So there's the other bite. So to lock the bite, this comes out under, we go under again. And of course we have to go casa coded, like we go under, we go over, we go under. And in any other way it wouldn't be locked in, so it's just the whole procedure declares or explains itself to you quite nicely. The most confusing thing is when you lose your bites. That's why some people like to work with pins and pegs, but you can always fish or angle for it, and once you understood the whole construction, you won't have any problems building them. So this will be the last one, and we come up here. So what we see is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bites. 6 bites, and of course if you just arrange your chords a bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leads. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here and probably take it off the mandrel and do this by hand.